Welcome back to another Gift Talk. We're here to talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, this will be a spoiler review. Spoilers abound, but you know what? There's not enough spoilers that I could honestly ruin this movie. This movie for me was just an amazing film. I was telling my wife when I walked out, this may actually replace Return of the Jedi as my favorite Star Wars film. And, you know, I'll give you the rundown, and then we'll talk about what I really liked and what I really didn't like, and maybe some of the things that I'm still confused about. So, to start off, we have the rebels are evacuating a base, and, Poe Dameron, he decides to take on himself and save the rebellion once again. He does it, but they lose a lot of troops, and Finn ends up waking up after that, and then it goes to Rey and Luke, and there was just so much in this movie going on. I started out doing it, but I don't think I can go from scene to scene to scene, because it is a very long movie. One thing I didn't like, but I can appreciate why they did it that way. I will say that I definitely like the story, character development, the tragedy, because there's a lot of death in this film. Whether it's pilots, whether it's just great characters, whether it is, humorous or not, because there was some humor in this, and before you get scared, this was not Guardians of the Galaxy humor, it was not Thor Ragnarok humor, but it was decent humor. There's a point in time where Luke is training Rey, and he goes, reach out and feel the Force, and she's sitting there going like this, and she's got her eyes closed, and he starts tickling her hand with a feather, and that was good humor. That was enjoyable humor. Now, there was some other parts that I thought the humor was misplaced, like General Snoke. Rey reaches for the lightsaber, it flies around the room, hits her back in the head, and lands by General Snoke, and he's like, stupid kid. So, and that's one of the biggest things I'll say I'm still confused and very disappointed is they never explained who Snoke is. And when I said there was a lot of death, I mean on both sides, because Snoke's dead. As you know, Kylo Ren kills him. I think there was a missed opportunity of explaining who he is, and you actually get to see some of his full power. And Kylo Ren still doesn't feel like he's got everything under control, but he still kills Snoke. And while I like the way he did it, they killed them all rather fast, and I feel bad, because there was so much potential in Snoke. And of course, the biggest death, and I have to say I feel both good about it, but also very bad about it, is Luke. He literally buys the rebellion time. He really, does it in a grandiose way. I mean, the whole hologram of not actually being there and being on the island and all that was amazing. Actually touching Leia and making her believe that she's touching Luke, that was really good. The fact that Kylo Ren didn't, understand that Luke wasn't there during the lightsaber battle, and that was very cool. The whole lightsaber battle, it wasn't long, but it was definitely worth it. The fact that, unfortunately, due to circumstances, due to Leia's or Carrie Fisher's unfortunate death, there are no more original cast members except for Chewbacca. And well, I'm really happy that because Chewbacca's my personal favorite. I really, there's a sadness that knowing that the next movie won't have one of the original cast members. So, I mean, besides Chewbacca. And at the end, you know, there's maybe 10 people left, including Carrie Fisher's daughter. It does. I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go. I was kind of hoping Lando Calrissian would show up, you know, Billy D. Williams, and actually help them win the day or escape. But I like the way they went. I wish they would actually bring in Billy D. Williams. I think that would be a cool idea, but I guess not. They did have his co-pilot, the one who spoke Swahili in Return of the Jedi. So they had that. And, you know, I talked about my last video about the music and all that and how they showed the making of that. And I remember the guy's name, John Williams, and just the way he brought in elements of old. I mean, when Luke's dying, you actually hear the Tatooine music where Luke's looking at the double suns on Tatooine, you know, and then his cloak falls away and he turns into a spirit. Probably one of the biggest reveals in this, and I actually already knew this before I went to the movie, but it still hit me like a ton of bricks just to see Yoda on the big screen again. I almost cried. It was such a amazing part, you know. Just there's a part where he's in the blue and it goes to him, and it looks like he's right there. It looks like he's real. They almost forgot to, you know, put the CGI animation blue around him so he looks like a ghost. He looked like he did in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, and for a moment there you had hope, and then they go back and he's in blue again. So that was it was still an amazing cameo, definitely heart-wrenching, but just joyful heart-wrenching because it was so cool. I loved it so much. Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. You know. But yeah, that was really good. Seeing the new ads, I'm not really sure what their names are, AT-RT or something like that. And just, you know, even BB-8 piloting a AT-ST. That was funny. Actually, hopefully we see the last of Captain Phasma. She had a better role in this movie. Benicio del Toro, he did a pretty good job as the, you know, rebel scum, or the hacker and all that. So, but and then the you know, the Finn and Rose, you know, relationship. I don't really see it going full-fledged. And then they kind of hint that, you know, Poe and Rey, you know, kind of meet for the first time, and there's, maybe I could have been imagining it, but it seemed like they were trying to present a spark there. But the one thing I am a little confused on is they ended it in such a way that Carrie Fisher is still alive at the end of it. And I'm wondering how they're going to do that in the next film. So we will have to wait and see, because I have no insight. I have no special ability to tell you guys differently. But yeah, there was definitely she played a bigger part, and her force abilities when she's pushing. I don't know if she's pulling or pushing you know, from the outer space and goes into it. That was another big death, was Admiral Akbar. He was in this film. Shows him die, and it was just, you know, it was cool to see her use the Force, and not the way you were expecting it. There was so much that we stipulated, we played around with. Does she join the Force? Does she become great Jedi, good Jedi? And the biggest thing, I'm a little less confused than I am about Snoke, but it's like they say Rey's parents were just salvagers who sold her to buy, you know, alcohol. There's actually a Battlefront game where they say that her parents are Imperial TIE fighter pilots. Now that was the, you know, assumption that I was under, but I guess I was wrong. You know, I guess I was wrong, unless they played some trick, you know, mental mind trick on me. So, you know, guys, all in all, I think it was a great movie. I think a lot of people, you either, you know, absolutely love it, or you're gonna find so many issues with it, because there was a lot of, you know, almost similarities to, you know, Empire Strikes Back. It seemed like the planets with the ATSTs and the ATs and the ATRTs, I think that's what they're called. It does look a lot like Battle of Hoth, and, you know, you see a very similar, you know, I saw parallels between that and Return of Jedi, because there's one where Chewbacca's flying the Millennium Falcon through like a cavern that could be, you know, similar to Lando and the co-pilot going through the Death Star and then busting out, as they do in the Return of the Jedi. So there was definitely similarities, but not enough that this movie doesn't stand out on its own. It does have, you know, parts that are similar to other movies, but it's not a carbon copy. So I think they learned from their last mistake. Again, all in all, this movie was amazing. And, you know, it was, I guess I don't know how to explain it more than that. You know, I love opening night. I'll probably go again next year. I don't know if Han Solo is going to be as good, but hopefully, you know, hopefully they bring this into, or finish this story with one really good ending. I can only hope. So, well, guys, all in all, great video. Or great movie. I hope you're happy with it, and I hope you enjoy it. But if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. But at this point in time, I can't say much more about this movie. It was just an amazing movie. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.